Hey, how's it going? Oh, shoot. Don't want to have to pay any licensing fees because I don't have money. But anyway, I'm here to talk about the common denominator for one. And that is like when you find yourself in the same situation over and over, say it's a relationship situation, any kind, and over and over the same thing keeps happening and it's not the good outcome that you would like. And so it's you going about the same thing, trying to do something and with different person every time. And so what is the common denominator in this situation that continually crashes and burns? That would be you. It's hard for us to see that sometimes. And I only saw it really about myself in a non-abstract way when someone else came to me and was asking me questions and sort of sharing their difficulties. And I was like, well, the common denominator seems to be you. And that's unfortunate feeling, but get past that. And like, if you really want to change it, you start to seek self-improvement. So that moves right into very naturally something I said. Well, for me personally, yeah, I mean, it's almost always something I said. Like, again, in a relationship situation, you can accidentally, when I say you, I mean me, accidentally put people off, like not meaning to, or if it's someone you don't know very well, it's very easy to sort of step on a power line and not realize it's there because you don't know the person. But I have found that it also can happen with someone you've known a really long time, and it's just like something maybe changes and you don't know that, or you've changed and they haven't and they can't realign with you, whatever it is. Oh god. Eating hair, yuck. Anyway, that's another one of those things where I really had to take a look at myself and say, or notice, like, this is something that happens a lot. And if it's not obvious, like to see something outside of you that caused whatever it is to occur and not come to completion in the way you wanted, then you have to look at other things. And the other thing in those kind of situations, the thing that's left is me. So what am I doing? And I've had to really look at that. And that was sort of a recent development. And I've noticed it. I've noticed that I'll say something and then, like, say in a social media situation, I'll say something and then, like, all of a sudden people will be gone. And I'm not, like, obsessed with followers, but when people follow you, you get whatever's going on in their feed too. So when you notice that something you maybe liked interacting with is gone, and if you are conscious of like what it was connected to, then you realize I realized after a certain point, oh, that was because of this person and they're now gone. So, yeah, a lot of times it probably definitely is something I said. And I know no situation works out perfectly every time, but I want to know what I said wrong so I don't do it again. But I don't know, I guess that's just me. And then the other participant does have to be willing, and also you have to discuss it, but if you can, if they're gone. So that's sort of a unfulfilling feeling. And the third thing was attention, which I was at the top. I should have started with that. Whatever, I started the way I started. So attitude. All of my life, especially when it's been like an adult that I wasn't immediately behaving to their specifications, let's say, it's like, you have an attitude. And I'd be like, you have an attitude. I'm just trying to say what I want to say or do what I want to do. And I found that it was from an early age. Like, I guess I don't even know the word. I had to do things and wanted them to go my way. I don't think that's that normal. I don't think that's abnormal. I think that I just knew what I wanted you know, and can't always get what you want. You can't even like really take what you want because that is not a good situation. That's kind of bad all around. Oh, my stomach is going upset right now. Sorry, I just had to clear up an internal dispute or something. But yeah, uh, particularly when you get older and people start telling you you have an attitude, and especially when you've been on your own for a long time, like you don't feel like these people who weren't. I'm thinking of a specific, very close relative. It just feels wrong for them to come in and be like, you can't do what you've been doing all on your own just fine for years. I'm going to come in here and tell you it's wrong and why and do it this way instead. It's like, why? Just because, like, maybe I'm here for this discussion or I have a momentary difficulty I need help with. It doesn't require you to come in and, like, re-wallpaper my life. And if I had an attitude for expressing dismay or more about that and like trying to get people to explain. You don't just come rushing in like super person that you never were. It's like, it's dissonant. It's like, think about whatever. That person no longer can think in this dimension. So I'm not even talking about a situation that exists anymore. I'm just sort of remembering it because what all of this, I'm actually getting to a point. What all of this kind of amounts to is what vibration are you putting out? If you are in alignment with other people, whatever the situation, things are going to go better. And if you're not, they're not. I mean, that's not some kind of weird pseudoscience. I'm coming at it from a woo-woo angle, but, or new age spirituality angle, to be clear, but it still happens regardless of whatever arena you find it in. Like, you call it what you want, it just is. So dynamics can be completely just polar, ridiculous opposite, like a child trying to impress something upon an adult that's got it stuck in their head that kid don't know nothing. Well, that's not really true. um I can think of many situations where it's been like, oh, from the mouth of a child, from a child's mouth to God's ears, whatever. Like, children are not always dumb and wrong. And I think when an adult sort of is confronted with a situation where if they're arguing with the child, they're obviously the child is at a level where the parent or the adult is feeling that they have to defend themselves in kind. So maybe you're not just really dealing with a child. Like, maybe you're dealing with a child with like a brain, with some sense, that can debate with you, that has a point. Like, we do that to people all across the board. They can be your same age. I don't think I have to draw comparisons. I think anybody who took the time to watch this and listen to this point will understand that there are certain people that we just are not in alignment with. Like, and I'm not talking me, I'm talking broadly here. Like, some of us can't deal with other people for a number of reasons. Like, something about their being, about their personality, about you know what I mean. So if a person feels like they should be able to just say it and have it be so, you have to take into consideration sometimes, despite what your eyes are telling you, what is the vibration you're feeling. If you're feeling like you have to argue with a child, for instance, and it is in your mind that there's no way that could happen because a child is not up to your same level, then why are you arguing with them? If you feel like they can't be reasoned with, then don't try. Like, you're the adult. So you got to get that kind of garbage out of your mind. And like, what are you really dealing with? Like, is the person that you basically don't have respect for meeting you at a level that you are commensurate with. I mean, if they are, then I can only think that arguing is the dissonance. Like, you just can't put it together that this person can meet you at your level. Wow, I just thought of that just now. Or, I don't know, was it a thought? It got inserted somehow, and here it is. So, those are things that I basically wanted to get across. They're all a vibration thing. And if they work, then the vibrations are just not magnetically attracted, and maybe they turn their butts to each other like magnets, and they're just like, psh. Okay, that got real abstract. But okay, that's it. But let me have some of my water. Okay, I won't do that again. That's cucumber water. Yuck. It's not hothouse cucumbers though. Oh, so I hope I don't get cut off. I had a really interesting experience yesterday. I like to watch channeling, so I was watching Jim Charles of Hucolo TV, Human Colony TV, Hucolo, and he's one of the mediums on there. So he was channeling Elijah, like biblical Elijah. And I like to listen to various channelings, and I really like Jim Charles because I like his vibration. So anyway, there was a channeling yesterday, and it was, maybe I'll just link it. I'll link it. So anyway, he did this channeling of Elijah speaking, and what he talked about really spoke to me because I've been talking about the same kind of things a lot. And when I know that, like, I'm touching spirit, I start, like, crying. Not like crying, but like my eyes want to, it's involuntary, but it's like crying. And so I'm sitting there like listening, getting that hitching thing in your chest that you get when you're crying, and just really connecting. I'm getting boost gumps and tingling. But anyway, I had the Supremes, someday we'll be together in my mind for days. And I've come to recognize finally that when you are thinking of something over and over, even though I've read it, seen videos about it, and I even have had experience with it, with 2 years of dreaming about masks and masks just being on my mind the year before COVID. So it was like that. And I just kept hearing the Supreme someday will be together. And I getting hitchy again. And I watched that channeling, and it was like, ding! That is why I've been hearing it. And I don't know why it was important, but I watched the channeling, and then I just, in the comments, sent Jim / Elijah the song. And God, I'm feeling it again. Like for hours afterwards, like I could feel, I guess, the feeling of Elijah on me. Like that sounds weird, like a ghost show bad thing, but it's not. Like I'm just feeling like the spirit of it, like right now. Hi, Elijah. I don't know. I guess other people needed to make that connection, and I'm just glad that I could be a part of it. Excuse me. Anyway, before I get cut off, thank you and good night.